and actually hear something from this book that we're launching, The Abandoned Darlings. So again, thank you very, very much for coming. I'm just going to start off, because I probably won't get a chance at the very end, to thank a few people. So I'd just like to start by saying a huge big thank you to everybody in NUIG that have made the MA in Writing such an accomplished and such a fulfilling course, especially Professor Adrian Fraser, hiding down there at the back. Thank you, Adrian. We'd also like to say a big huge thank you to our incredible guest editor, Moya Cannon, who unfortunately wasn't able to be here tonight, but is very ably represented as well by our lovely Ava Burke as well. I think you'll all agree as well that Maria O'Rourke did a fantastic job on the cover. It's very, very striking, so just another round of applause for Maria as well. And I hope you didn't eat the cupcakes so fast that you didn't notice that the books were actually on those cupcakes as well. There's a few people as well just in the local literary circles that were incredibly supportive over the last few months actually at this stage. And just to give a nod out to those as well. So Ava Burke, Nuala Cruhor, Jerry Hanbury, Pete Molyneux, Mike McCormick, Chris Benchy, Celeste Auger, and of course Kevin Higgins as well. They did everything they could within their power to make sure that this anthology happened for us, and they were great to give us the publicity and attach their names to it as well. So thank you to all of them. And just a few more nod-outs as well to Dermot Mooney, Conor Montague, Darragh Fiallu, and members of the 2012 Ropes team, Miriam Prendergast and Anya Malloy. I had them absolutely driven demented, I think, with questions about how to actually put a book together. This was a huge learning curve for me and for the rest of the group, and they were extremely patient in answering all of our questions. So thanks a million to all of those guys. And finally, all of the people that had the belief in a book that they had not even seen yet and contributed unfunded, thank you very much for that. And thank you to all of our family and friends without whom there would be absolutely no Abandoned Darlings. So thank you. So without further ado, I will hand over to Ava Burke. Thank you.
The endless leisurely days and the way nature can be uncanny and threatening from a child's point of view. To end the collection with her poem, Is This a Poem? That's the title of the poem, was very clever of the editor. It leaves all of us readers and practitioners with this question and with a clear affirmation of the power of language, the only material we writers and poets have, and which we have to use to the best of our ability. So I want to congratulate again the students, and I'm absolutely delighted that they managed to do this, and I know, knowing from experience how hard it is, I know that it was an incredible work, incredible labor, a labor of love, and I want to thank them for inviting me to launch this, and I want to launch it here with. So I don't know how you launch it. We have no ship and no champagne, so anyway, let's get on with the party.
Our first reader tonight is going to be Fiona Farrelly. So Fiona, do you want to come up and take the mic?
I took off my glasses so I couldn't see all the faces looking up at me, and I can still see them. So here you go. The first one I'm going to read is Memento Mori, which means remember that you must die. Jellyfish souls float with the tide into shore and gently land, the final push in the last wave of the night. Pink sand absorbs the darkness of the autumn night, where a lonely crow stands on a small rock that's bigger than the others and soft. He sees the souls shake out the water and salt, knowing what they are. One day he will be taken by the sea, and getting lost in time, he will return by the powerful waters to the land he flew over in life. and the second one is For a Better Goodbye. The birds sang to the mauve-turned pink evening sky, between clouds that threatened rain. Flashes of light over 2 kilometers long disappeared with a bang because they were positives fighting against negatives. 2 people stood close to watch the other's heartbeat, inhale and exhale, both too afraid to hold the other's body against their own, to feel the heartbeat. Blue veins in arms became more conspicuous as they lingered, waiting till the last moment to say goodbye. I heard them call each other lovers. And I'm going to read one more by Olivia Snyder, who's living in Washington now, so she couldn't be here tonight, so I said I'd read one of her poems for her, and it's called Vacuum. I hate the sound of suction, a dull droning in my wrists and fingertips as I scrawled a message across the floor. Chemical dust rises with each altering line of shaded carpet, grayer, grays. Layered odors sink deep into the threads, waft up again, OxyClean, Febreze, urine. I notice pennies casually dotting the floor. My vacuum struggles to discern dust mote from copper, sometimes splits a collected coin back out, sputtering its rejection. I struggle to focus on any distraction, a song, the water moving through pipes as 303 turns on the shower, the crescending shouts of the unhappy couple next door. My next apartment will not have carpet. And up next we have Lena Kilty.
This is a poem in 3 parts. It's called Rupture. It's shocking to see the red appear again many weeks late. Today, another first birthday party. I sit with enchanted mothers who speak to me as though without you, I have not fully entered the world. And all the children eat their cake, drink their juice. I'm silently bereft. 2. I have some news, you say. Strange how the body responds. Limbs and soft belly tremble, breath tightens, none of which you can see. Decades of conversations with excited women, all practiced for this one moment. That's great, congratulations. And I don't say what I rang to say. My room, recently useful, is empty now. 3. You'll need space those first few weeks to bond, find your way, the exhaustion compounded by present-laden well-wishers, until finally my not being there becomes something. Standing at the door, legs wobbly, I ring the bell, rehearse, then hug new dad, find new mum, babble incoherently, meet her, tiny hands and feet, just over 6 pounds, not an ounce of resentment on her beautiful face. Mark Ryan.
This is from John's piece called Death Road, a non-fiction piece on his travels in South America. The next stop was the capital of Bolivia, La Paz. I arrived by bus in the evening time. The city is built in what appears to be a great hole surrounded by steep hills on all sides. These hills are all covered in clay-coloured houses cramped together like matchboxes. The dirty atmosphere and environment of La Paz did not appeal to me from the start. I arrived in the city with the intention of leaving again in a few days. I was making a beeline for the north of Bolivia as I was interested in nature tours of the jungle and peaceful fishing trips. I was travelling through South America on my own, apart from 2 weeks spent with Jana. This meant I could travel quickly when it was required. In the northeast of Bolivia was a town called Rurrenabaque. It was a gateway settlement to the jungles and the wildlife of Bolivia's interior. The flight from La Paz to Rurrenabaque was not due to leave for another 3 days, and it was expensive. I was wary of internal flights in South America. I had visions of planes going down in the jungle and fighting battles against everything from cannibals and poisonous animals to terrorists intent on kidnapping me for a handsome a handsome ransom, I settled for another bus journey of approximately 16 hours and made my way to the bus stop at the outskirts of La Paz. The bus was an old banger, at least 20 years old. At the bus stop, the driver and some of his assistants were tying luggage, addressed boxes, and huge bales of cocoa leaves onto the roof of the vehicle. Some older Bolivian women were gathered around the bus, waiting to board. They wore small black bowler hats on their heads and colourful shawls and skirts about their bodies. Their hair, tied in 2 long plaited ponytails, fell down their backs. The ponytails were tied at the ends with black beads. The women carried children on their backs and possessions by their sides. The Bolivian women were a marvel to me. They paid almost no attention to travellers whatsoever, unless they were trying to sell something, in which case they were pleasant and courteous. They seemed proud and noble, despite their obvious lack of wealth or extravagance. I regretted not learning more Spanish before I started the trip, as I would like to have spoken with these older women to learn more about their culture and how they view themselves and the world about them. There was a small shop beside the bus stop. I went inside and bought batteries for a disc player and a large bottle of water. When I came back, the passengers started boarding the vehicle. An old man stood in front of me in the lineup. Beside him on the ground was an aerated wooden box containing chickens. I threw my backpack into the luggage compartment and sat at the back of the bus in preparation for a mammoth journey. My CD player contained the album Loveless from My Bloody Valentine. I played the album from the start but fell fast asleep after only a couple of songs. I'll leave it at that. Eric Kennedy is next.